Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We are only weeks away from Adepticon 2025, the culmination of miniatures, games, and news, and tournaments, and excitement, and the extravaganza of all of it is happening at the Baird Center in Milwaukee on March 26th through 30th. This is going to be a very good time. It's going to be my first Adepticon. And in light of it being my very first Adepticon, I wanted to bring you guys a list of 10 games to watch, 10 games that I'm interested in checking out at Adepticon 2025. If you guys are interested in this also, I'd love to have you guys subscribe, stick around, click all the bells and the like the video and the share the video. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments section below. Let's go ahead and jump into this list with our first. Of course, we'd have to talk about Warhammer. Warhammer 40,000. Look, 40K is not a game that I play right now, but it's certainly a game I've had my eye on. They just have released The Emperor's Children and possibly some new Astra Militarum stuff, and like that being a faction that I've been interested in for a while, especially with tanks and all kinds of groovy models. It's definitely one of those things that I want to kind of wrap my head around and maybe even learn a little bit more about and maybe be able to cover on the channel a little bit more. It certainly fits into the theme, and it's the biggest miniatures game in the world, and I'm a miniatures channel. The fact that I don't play and or cover Warhammer 40K with any kind of regularity is certainly a conundrum and a mystery, but anyway, it's something I've had my eye on, and I'd love to learn a little bit more about it and play the latest edition and see if it's a good fit. But yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to have some 40K news and some new stuff to check out there. And I'll be heading over to the GW booth for other stuff as well. So it'd always be fun to see what the new stuff, what the news is. Another one is Marvel Crisis Protocol from Atomic Mass Games. It's their most successful game. It's their most popular game, and it's a good solid game. Marvel's doing well. It's a good time for Marvel. We got some interesting movies coming out. You got Marvel Rivals out there. MCP has always been a fun game, and I think we are getting very, very close to where we may see the Fantastic Four announced for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'm going to definitely have to check that out. If they do announce it, there'll probably be some samples and stuff in the glass cabinets, and we'll try to bring coverage of all of that cool stuff. So that'll be interesting. But let me know if you guys are playing Marvel Crisis Protocol. Let me know what your predictions are. What do you think that they're going to have for it? It's a game that I do enjoy, and I only cover a little bit on the channel, but it's something I could certainly stand to cover a little bit more. There's a whole lot of cool stuff in the future for this game, and with the directions that the MCU is going and all the hype for specific Marvel stuff. And for anybody playing Marvel Rivals, do you think they're going to do Jeff the Land Shark in Marvel Crisis Protocol at some point? It's just a thought. It would be kind of fun too. I wonder if they'll do some kind of Rivals stuff with this as well. It could be a really fun time. So I'd love to see some kind of crossover there. So that'd be fun. Next, we're going a little bit of a different direction. Leviathans: The Great War by Catalyst Games. This is a game that looked really interesting to me. It's got a lot of different airships that is kind of like a World War II sort of, but meets kind of steampunk, war game, hex-based. It has, it's a little overwhelming to me at first. Catalyst Games has done really good with BattleTech, and then Leviathans is here. This one was it was available to kind of get a little information about one of the last conventions I was at a few years ago, but I passed on the opportunity, and I shouldn't have made that mistake. And so it's definitely one that I want to check out, especially with Star Wars Armada being gone. Fleet-based games are very cool, and and there aren't enough of them, and so this is definitely one that I would love to learn a little bit more about when I'm there. So if I can get a chance to get a demo of this, that would be awesome. Jumping companies over to the TT Combat booth. I'd love to take a look at some of their new stuff. TT Combat is the ones who, of course, make Drop Fleet Commander, Drop Zone Commander, or sometimes people call them Drop Noun. They are also coming up with Strike Team and Battle Zone Commander. Strike Team Commander and Battle Zone Commander. There's a Kickstarter going on right now. And these games look to be a little bit more like Star Wars Legion or 40K or that kind of stuff. With the difference between the two games, I think, is one is just the scale. One is more of an interior, like clearing out rooms and stuff like that, maybe closer to like Kill Team size, and the other one is a little bit more like a 40K or Star Wars Legion game or something like that, where in that sort of 28mm ish scale. It's an interesting looking game to me. Although there are tanks in it, but the tanks are awfully small compared to what I kind of want to see out of like vehicles. The vehicles are a little smaller, but it probably also makes the game a little more affordable. But like the promotional shots they've been doing for it make it look really cool, and it'd be a great opportunity if they're going to have demos for that. To learn more about that game system and how that plays, and if it's going to be a good fit. So that's a cool one to check out. Star Wars Legion, of course, is going to be on the list. I'm really hoping to see Gungans revealed. Also, I'm really hoping for Grand Army to get a little bit of attention because that's a format that I really want to play in Star Wars Legion. I've got a lot of stuff, and I want to be able to put more of it on the tabletop, and I can't wait to see if they come up with something really clever and cool and great and fun ways to play Grand Army and to put a lot of stuff on the tabletop all at once. It'd be a really fun way to do it. Also hoping to get more information about this new reprint that's coming out later this year, as well as any other future units. It's going to be kind of a critical path for Legion on how they're going to kind of kickstart or restart the entire game line. And I think there's a lot of potential information that could come out for this game, so it looks very, very interesting to me. Back to Catalyst games, BattleTech, a game that has been going strong for a very long time. I've always been impressed with the way Catalyst has supported this game and kind of represented it. It's a popular game. And it's one that has totally flown sort of under my radar. I've been aware of it, but I've just never sat down and actually played it. Maybe this will be the opportunity for me to learn a little bit more about it and figure out if it's right for me. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, and I'll tell you one of the things about my biggest reservation with a game that's at this scale is the fact that I'd probably have to get a lot of all new terrain, since most of my terrain is like 40K/Legion scale and doesn't necessarily work for like a 5mm or a 10mm game or whatever scale that is in where you're playing giant mechs. Although I love the idea of it, it's a little I'm a little trepidatious because of the fact I'm like, gosh, if I end up loving this game, am I going to have to get a bunch of new terrain? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but maybe it's worth finding out if the game is a right fit first. And that's one thing that maybe I'll be able to do at Adepticon. And, the Catalyst Games booth, so basically I can learn about 2 games in one stop by heading over there. So that'll be a fun one. Heading over to Monster Fight Club side of town, where you definitely got to check out Monster Fight Club's booth and see what new cyberpunk shenanigans they happen to have in store over there. They're and of course, they're doing a lot more than just Cyberpunk Combat Zone. They have other games there as well, but they also have terrain, some of the most awesome terrain in the market. Pre-painted terrain. You don't, if you're not a fan of having to like 3D print and then paint your own stuff or craft your own stuff, if you want to have like terrain that's like playable straight out of the box, they're really good for that. And they have very dynamic and really interesting stuff too. Or even if you do craft your own terrain and you want some extra things to go with it. We've done a lot of reviews of some of the different products that Monster Fight Club has, but Combat Zone is one of the best games that takes advantage of terrain in all of its forms, whether you're playing with just a little bit of scatter terrain, some blown out buildings, full-blown skyscrapers, interior, exterior, giant ships, forests, dense forests, castles. You can play on whatever you want. Up, down, impassable walls or difficult to pass walls. This game is one of the best games I've ever seen for dealing with terrain and making it to where the terrain becomes the game table itself, and that's part of the game. It makes terrain a part of the game, and that's a really cool thing about Combat Zone. And with Edge Runners coming out, there'll be some new stuff to see. They also have, if you're not a fan of painting miniatures, they have standees. So you can have like ready to play straight out of the box. You can also get the miniatures if you want to do it more traditionally and paint them up. Or you can get both if you want to be able to, like, hey, I'm going to play with the standees at first. And this way I can play with like a, fully painted sort of army because, again, they're fully visible, fully colored. And then you can take your time painting and use the standees while you're getting it ready. So again, really cool new system that they have for that. And maybe they'll have some new sneak peeks of things in the future as well. So very cool stuff to check out the Monster Fight Club booth and learn more about Cyberpunk Combat Zone. Super cool game. Next up, WizKids. Again, a lot of reasons to check out WizKids beyond just Star Trek Into the Unknown. But, of course, we'll be checking out WizKids because we want to check out Star Trek Into the Unknown, see if they have any new stuff to show us, if there's any sneak peeks of some of the new Klingon stuff or anything like that, if there's any promos. But I also have a lot of other cool stuff from miniatures, as well as like their Dungeons and Dragons stuff is really popular. They have this whole new Baldur's Gate set and stuff like that, so it'd be really cool to see if they have any of that available as well. The WizKids booth is definitely a cool one. Plus, if you're into HeroClix and all of that stuff, there's a lot of cool things to check out over there. Although, personally, I'm going to be most interested in, the Star Trek Into the Unknown part of the booth. And hopefully there'll be something new to check out, something cool to see. Moving forward, one of my favorite games that I've discovered over the last year or two, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Definitely hoping to get some really cool news for this one. I think I play 4 different armies now, or I'm working on my 4th army. So Stormcast, Skaven, the Ogre Maw tribes. I'm definitely hoping they give us some news about that. And then I'm starting up a Caradron Overlords army, and they're supposed to be getting some news. So we'll have to see if there's new stuff there. There's a new Skaven guy that we can pick up. This, like a special convention exclusive, for all of that stuff. I love this game. I think it's got the best miniatures of any game, period. Any game ever. I think it's got absolutely 100% the best miniature quality, and they beat everything else. Everything that I've ever seen, at least. And the gameplay is awfully fun, too, especially with the new edition. I really like that. So this game is super cool. I think it's flying under a lot of people's radar. So if you get a chance to check out and learn how to play Warhammer Age of Sigmar, I don't think you'll be disappointed. It's very, very cool. And last up is Snapships Tactics. Definitely a super fun game. A great, especially filling the void that is left with X-Wing's cancellation. If you're looking for that original kind of X-Wing original kind of 1.0 dogfight sort of feel. This one has that feel. It goes about it in a different way of like energy management, allowing you to take power turns and have other turns where you're kind of recharging and repairing damage. But it plays quick. It's super fun, and it's got this whole toy factor because you're actually building your ships, and they have new stuff coming out, which is also really cool. New cockpits and new swarm ships and new pieces and just new stuff from Snapships Tactics. So very cool. It's a whole toy line combined with a game system. We've talked about it, and we're going to be talking about it some more here in the future as well. So, but if you're there, you definitely want to check out Snapships Tactics. This is one of the most fun games from even before you start playing, because you're actually playing with blocks and building out your ships and having so much fun just building. It takes the fleet building or list building to a whole new level because you're actually building, and it's so much fun. So definitely, if you get a chance, check out Snapships Tactics. Those are 10 games to check out at Adepticon 2025. If you can't make it, make sure you stick around and subscribe, because we'll be bringing you plenty of coverage while we're out there, and we're going to have a pretty good time. If you are going to make it, maybe I'll see you there, and definitely check out some of these games. And I'm sure there's plenty more that I missed. Let me know some of your can't-miss games from Adepticon 2025. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. Thank you so much for your continued support. I'll talk to you later. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all. And always wash your socks.